What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I am stoked for today's video because one of my patrons the other day reminded me that I forgot a huge part to our HueForge Pro beginners course. And so today I will be adding one more video to the course. So we're getting 8 videos, and I'm going to be answering some of the biggest questions about slicing when it comes to HueForge, because we can learn the program, we can know how it works, but if we don't know how to slice the file, then we can't print it. So let's dive right in. We're in HueForge here, and I'm in the bottom left corner today because we're going to need to be able to see the right side of the screen. We're not going to be in HueForge all of this video because we're going to hop into the slicer here in a little bit, but I wanted to show you guys quickly how to export and then bring in all of your slicing settings that you would need into your slicer. So the easiest way for you to see your settings, and I didn't know this existed, you get it in two kind of different places. If you come up here to File, and then you click Save Project As, when you click that button, you'll be able to save your project, and you will be given a little kind of text file here. Let me drag it over here for you. You'll be given this text file, and you will get all of your slicer settings. And so you have your swap instructions here for your filaments. You have the filaments that you used in HueForge, and then you have your slicer settings: print at 100% infill with a layer height of 0.08 and a base layer of 0.16. So these are the settings that we're going to want to remember. I'm going to be honest, I did not know that these were the settings that I needed to use in HueForge, and it kind of messed me up. I didn't know that they were in the .text file when you exported it, but they're also available here. If you click this describe button down at the bottom of the kind of HueForge program, right next to invert sliders, you're going to see this HueForge pop-up come up. And then you're also going to have your settings listed out in here. This is just the .text file that you get when you export, but you get it currently in HueForge, and so it tells you exactly what you need to do. So that's where you find the settings there in HueForge. Now let's actually hop into our slicer here and take a look at what we have, because we have a couple different things going on here. First off, we want to make sure that our settings in the top left here are set up properly. And I'm going to drag the screen over just a little bit for you. And I'm also going to drag myself over to the right for now so you can see all of the things that I am editing. So you can see I am just keeping it here on this 0.2 standard kind of Bambu Lab X1C profile. This is the profile that you just get loaded in with your Bambu Lab when you pick up your printer. So if we bring our .text file in, this is a different .text file for a different print, but it still says Kirby. We see that we need to print at 100% infill with a layer height of 0.08 and a base layer height of 0.16. So if we're looking at the quality tab here in Bambu Lab, and this is also true for Orca Slicer and PrusaSlicer, they're all going to be relatively the same under the same tabs, and so you should be able to follow along in different slicers. If you need some help, let me know and I can give you some help in our Discord. So we're going to find under the quality tab layer height, and we know that this right here 0.08 layer height, so we're going to make sure that that's 0.08, and then we need to make sure that our initial layer height is 0.16, and so we change it to 0.16. We're going to come here to strength, and we're going to change this to 100% infill. Now, it should default to rectilinear infill, but let's say you're on trihexagon. It's not going to let you print with 100% infill with the trihexagon. It's going to force you to use the rectilinear infill. And so make sure that if you are on this trihexagon, if you switch to 100% infill, you're going to say switch to rectilinear pattern, click yes, and it will automatically switch that over for you. And then last but not least, I always like to disable the prime tower. There have been so many times where I've started a HueForge print and I've had my little prime tower on there and it's like this and I didn't see it. And then I printed my prime tower into my HueForge. And so make sure that prime tower is just turned off. You don't need it because we're not doing multiple colors. We're just doing layer by layer. And so that can be turned off as well. All right, now let's get into our color choices here, because this was another question that I had come up on Patreon, and it's how do you swap between the different colors? So we're gonna go ahead and start the slice here, and I'm gonna move my camera up here so that you can see. This slice might take a hot minute or two, but we are going to go ahead and start it. We got 4 colors loaded in, and we want to make sure that our printer, if you have an AMS, can switch between the different filaments that it needs to switch between so that you don't have to babysit your print. Now, if you have only one kind of spool holder or you don't have an AMS, you can still print HueForges. Instead of putting color swaps, where we are going to put color swaps, you just need to put a print pause, and you pause the print, and then you unload the filament and then reload your new filament. It's super easy. I'll make sure to describe how to do that here in a moment. But our slice is almost done here, and you can see now we just have this like brick of black filament, and that doesn't look too good. We don't want to print just this kind of like black filament cube. We actually want to print a picture. And so that's where we are going to pull up our notes here again. And I'm just going to put it off to the other monitor, but you'll be able to see these are the instructions here. And so layer 11, 14, and 20. So we're going to come over to our slicer, and we see this bar over here on the right. And this is telling you all of the different layers that you are going to be printing. When you start, always just make sure that you put a change here at the bottom just so that you have it. You're going to make sure that it's on black. So you're going to right click this bar, change filament, black. And then we're going to scroll up to layer 11, and you just click and drag. You see the numbers going up there on the side until we hit 11. And then we need to swap to a gray, and we're going to click gray. And then we're going to drag this up a little bit more to layer 14. We're going to click white, and then we're going to drag it up to layer 22. We're going to click magenta. So now we have our color swaps loaded up here on the right. And we're going to click slice print. We're going to let it do its thing. It should be a little bit quicker. And now we have a better preview of what our print is going to look like. Now, we can never really trust this preview. If you're getting a different image here than what you had in HueForge, always trust HueForge, because HueForge is going to actually give you the transmission distance here, and you're going to see a lot more of the blending. And so we have dark gray, lighter gray, and then light gray, and then light gray, right? And if we come over here back to our slicer, we're not going to get nearly as much as that detail. We're just going to get gray and white. And so always trust the HueForge kind of preview more than your Bambu Lab preview or your slicer preview. And then we're going to click print plate. So now we have our printer here, and we're going to select the far wall is fine. Now, the way that I kind of set up my filament in my AMS is I put black in slot 1, and I put white in slot 4. I put gray in slot 2, and then I put whatever color that I'm using to pop in slot 3. So if we follow that rule of thumb, I don't have anything currently loaded in this AMS, or I would select slot 2, but we're going to put that in slot 4, and then that in slot 3. And then if I had gray loaded, we would have a slot 2 to select. And then I would click send, and we would send off the 3D print off to the printer and wait the 8 hours and 23 minutes that it takes to print this one and get something really cool. Now, I am thinking about doing another video where we go more in depth on slicer settings so that you can get faster print times. And I'm really thinking through how to create a video on HueForge and slicer settings to get you faster print times, because that's the one thing with HueForge is these things take a long time to print. And if you're doing this one poster for 8 hours, that's a whole day basically that you are printing this one poster. And so I will be working on a video soon on how to create HueForges that print faster, as well as slicer settings to print them faster as well. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope this was a good kind of conclusion to our HueForge Pro beginners course. If you're wanting to learn more of HueForge, just don't know where to start, seriously, check out my Patreon. I do one-on-one HueForge coaching over there, and there are only 3 spots left as I'm recording this video. And so if you've been thinking about signing up for our HueForge Pro tier, seriously consider it. There's already so many of you guys subscribed, and we are all learning HueForge together. It's been really cool to see your guys' progress. Huge shout out to all of my patrons. You guys are the MVPs. Seriously, you guys allow me to do what I do here, and we've been growing so quickly. So thank you for giving me some more freedom to be able to create awesome videos like these, and you will find some incredible value over on the Patreon if you haven't checked it out yet. I'll make sure to link my Discord, Patreon, and all that good stuff down in the description below. Guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things for the algorithm, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, y'all, take care.